and soon that turns into stories. We have to do that much or sit there in silence. The narratives that spring up want to be unique and personal, but they are leaves from one tree. There are only a few stories if we regard them as shapes made out of possibility, rights of fear and desire. This condition lasted mankind from the cave to the cabin, but then story itself took flight. A few families broke into the business of enacting those stories for strangers, audiences who might be far away, but the new technology reached them. The stories existed as a coiled celluloid waiting to be freed by light. This one family, the Warners, helped create a business and left us believing that their stories were our fables and dreams, and not just their money and their made up name. This book is called Warner Bros., but if anyone asks, you are going to say you're reading Warner Brothers. You don't quite know how to say Warner Bros. That logo seems awkward or or compacted in the mouth. This is not a trivial distinction between sound and print, uh, family and business identity. They didn't call themselves Paramount or Universal or Columbia, names from out of the clouds. No, they said theirs was a family show, just the brothers, one for all and all for one. There really were four Warner Brothers, and if Albert was a sleeping or sleepy partner, Harry, Sam, and Jack are genuine characters. Sam takes an early hit for the team, and that makes him a beloved hero. But Harry and Jack carry the load of lifelong rivalry, like Karamazov brothers, vectors to build a story arc on. They fall into unthinking opposition. Why do we have siblings? They wonder. So there's someone close to us who is not us? Jack wins this fraternal struggle, you'll guess that early on, so no suspense is spoiled. But so many of his victories feel like defeats. Two, because of his suspect character. He's known as a rascal now, while Harry seems upright and duty bound. Harry could read and write in Hebrew, while Jack struggled in English. But it's too late to take sides. Harry may have been more honest, but he was dull too. And if Jack was shifty, that was why you shouldn't take your eyes off him. That was the first. I'll continue later without headache, I guess, hopefully. No. So coming back to this reading with the greatest headache as well, that second page with some pasta on my tongue. Horribur teribur, ow, ow, ow. The two of them seem always at odds, which leaves victorious Jack as maybe the biggest scumbag ever to get into a Jewish Life series. I realize comeback is startling. It doesn't sound judicious, and it may be disconcerting to have a Jewish life that isn't admirable or couched in integrity. Einstein, Freud, and Proust, Primo, Levi, Kafka, Emma Goldman, and Jack Warner. But this subject is more important than respectability. Some work. I says comeback for a couple of reasons. Jack is something other than a nobleman, but scumbag is a familiar term in the movie business where it carries more affection than if it were being bandy about in insurance or undertaking. Hollywood, you see, is fond of its rascals rather in the way we relish its villains or tough guys on screen when they are people we would be scared to meet. And that hints at the complicated influence the Warner Brothers had and are still having on us. Here's a question to illustrate that, which means the most to the most people or to you. The special theory of relativity, Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams, or Jimmy Cagney pushing a grapefruit in May Clark's face. I cannot tell you Jack was a hero, or that many who knew him made that claim on his behalf. But being less than Einstein, Proust, or even Barbara Streisand didn't stop Jack and Warner Bros. From having an impact on our culture and dreams, on us. That is alarming because it's enormous. Warner Bros. Was one of the enterprises that helped us see there might be an American dream out there, a mix of patriotism and publicity, and it was open to Poles, Hispanics, the British, and Chinese, whomever, as much as to the few Americans who had been here from the start. Even women that might get it. That sense of a dream and immigrants, enormous impersonal climatic forces is not easily worked out because we are still so attached to the hope that fine and talented people shape our history, or very bad people. Don't rule this out as simple heresy, but um, but America might have been happier without the pursuit of happiness.